Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. During the ongoing process of getting my fish room cleaned up and getting things organized, I ran across this. This is an above tank tower trickle filter I put together more than a few years ago now. And I was getting it cleaned up and I realized that in all the comparison of filtration systems I've been doing lately, this is one that's been lacking. And I thought at first what I would do is, like I said, get it cleaned up like I have, and then hook it up above an aquarium and use it as part of the comparisons I've been doing. But then I thought about it and realized that for this to be a fair comparison, it would also have to incorporate some form of planter filter as well. So this is not going to be good enough. I want to put this up here. I want to move the moss out of this and probably rearrange those plants a little bit as well. And I want it to be, like I said, a comparison between this style, well, not this style, this style of filter and what I've been doing, like I said, box filters, underground filters, and all that sort of stuff going to planters. So I also want to have a spot where I can probably keep this moss going in it as well. So I'm going to need a fair amount of room. So what I've decided to do is, because that tank is already mostly covered anyway with a filter, what I was going to do is stick this on here. And I'm going to have it so that the front part is going to be a planter filter, and in the back part there's going to be room for a tower trickle filter that's going to filter up through there, cascade down, and then of course overflow into the planter filter part. And hopefully we'll get the same sort of response to the planters. With the bubbling of all the air, it does supply a fair amount of humidity, but I'm hoping that because, well, this is going to be run by a pump, so it's going to be a little bit different, but I'm hoping that the cascading or trickling down from the top through all the different layers is going to hopefully provide the same amount of humidity and, of course, keep the plants going really nicely. So the part to the left, where the hole is, that's where the tower is going to be. And it's going to, like I said, cascade down through that. That's going to be part two. And as that fills up a little bit, it's going to overflow into here. And the part to the right is going to be where the standard high humidity planter is going to be. So that is my plan. Like I said, it's going to be run by a pump. And I want to have, like I said, as many different comparisons of filters as I can possibly get. So before I get too far into this, there's one other thing I want to mention is that tower trickle filter you saw in the beginning. I don't have any use for it. So if anyone wants it, it's perfectly fine. I got it all cleaned up and it's nice. I made sure everything was working on it. I will have to sand the edges, of course, because if someone wants this, it's free. Anyone who wants it, they can have it. All they need to do is pay for postage. The only problem with that is it is quite heavy. So you're probably looking in the neighborhood of $40 worth of postage for it. I'm not certain, of course. But if that sort of thing's okay with you, just leave a comment below. Let me know that you are. And I will do a draw between any of the people who are interested. So this is pretty much done for this section of this. As you can see, it is almost identical as far as high humidity planters. There's holes up front. They are a little bit bigger because there's going to be more flow, and they're also slightly different arranged because, again, this is going to have a different style of filtration going to it. But other than that, it should be comparable. This is going to be the cap for the high humidity planter, and you'll notice there's a hole there. That's the top, and it's not there so I can add air, though at some point I might have to because of, like I said, the possibility that there may not be enough humidity. That is because sometimes these filters get, they get gummed up with detritus and plants, and sometimes the water level will increase enough that you don't get enough airflow through this, and that's just to make sure that that doesn't happen, that there's always a place for the water to expand to, and of course the air to escape from. There. Got that done. So this is going to, like I said, flip over, and the back end you're going to see here in a second, right there, that is about a half inch shorter than the rest of it because This is going to sit where that baffle is, and that's where the water is going to get into here. And that's the part where I was kind of concerned, is it gets dirty. If the water just goes up even a quarter of an inch, it may end up impeding the flow of air and, of course, the water out of this. And if you remember from the Little Brother filter, I had that little bit of issue with that one as well because of the same sort of thing. Even though there's not air being pumped into this, it could lift this up. And anyway, just to save that sort of problem from happening, a little hole is all it took. Now, one other thing, you'll notice the front end of this is even at the moment. That's going to change, but because I am putting these supports in as I was going along, I wasn't entirely sure where they're going to be. I left that as an even level until these are in place, so I can actually take the measurements off of this, and then I need to cut them, just put notches in it so that, again, there isn't any impedance to the flow of water through this. They're going to go through the holes, and again, as these things get a little bit dirtier, they can, like I said, change how things flow. And I want to make things, as I build these and try these out, I want to make changes periodically. And you'll notice that this particular one here is an extra inch deeper than all the others so far. So that's another change. I want to see if that alters how these things are going to work. Long term, of course, not short term. So there you go. These are now in place, and I'm going to put the cap on. You're going to see here in a second that the front leading edge is going to just come down underneath those holes. And you'll notice that for some reason I left that part on. This is just me emptying the methylene chloride out of the syringe and getting this rubber stopper out, because if you leave all that together for any length of time, the methylene chloride corrodes the rubber stopper and it just doesn't work well. So you can see just now that those the straight edge is beneath the edge of the upper edge of the hole, and it wouldn't work properly. So there you go. I've notched those out. Just did it on the table saw. It doesn't take long at all. And there you go. Part one's done. The tower in the back is going to be designed and put together for, I think, next Wednesday. And we'll get this all up and running and flowing on that tank. And this will give me another filter style. You remember from the experiment I set up recently, I have a box filter and another gravel filter going to a high humidity planter. And this will be a third one. This will be, of course, a trickle filter and also feeding into a high humidity planter. So that'll give me, like I said, a lot of comparisons. I want to see how they all do, again, of course, long term. Short term, these filters are just massive overkill. They don't, like I said, they're probably not ever going to get dirty, really, compared to, some other styles of filters on, larger tanks. So anyway, here you go. Let me know in the comments below what you think of all this, and I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.